Welcome to Talking with the Experts. This is where we discuss great ideas to take your business to the next level. How do we know these ideas work? Well, it's because we're talking with business owners who are using these ideas. Business owners who have years of experience and expertise. All things business by business owners for business owners. And now, here is your host, Rose Davidson.
Hi, I'm Rose Davidson from Talking with the Experts. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank Global Glamping Charities for their valued support. Global Glamping Charities, solving homelessness in all its forms. Reach out to them at globalglamping.org. Do you love your podcast and dislike the editing and uploading to the various platforms? Would you like to spend this time with your family and friends or work on your business? Podcast editing doesn't have to be a chore. Talking with the Experts partners with podcasters who need help with audio and content editing. If you'd like to know more, contact me, Rose Davidson, using the link showing now or send me a private message.
Talking with the Experts.
In episode 451, Steve Feld explores why most business owners have no real strategy when marketing their business.
I mean, you got to look everything in the point of the eyes of your clients, your customers, not what you think everything is, because they have a problem that they want solved and they need a solution that they don't know that they have yet. They don't know what it is yet. So you got to find out what's their top problems. I mean, in one of my businesses, I was thinking, I'm going to go after this market, but I really want to really know what their problems are. So I did research, I Googled it, that's nice. But I reached out to 50 people in that industry that I knew. And I said, can I just have you for 10 minutes to ask 10 questions? They're going to be quick and easy. So I did these polls, I got through them, I analyzed the results, and everything I thought was their top problem was not their top problem.
Talking with the Experts.
Hello, welcome to Talking with the Experts. I'm your host, Rose Davidson from rosedavidson.com. Talking with the Experts is about all things business by business owners for business owners. You can find it on all good podcasting streaming platforms and on YouTube. Today, my guest is Steve Feld. He is a return guest. Yay for me. Love that when they come back. And Steve is an MBA. He's a business marketing strategist, a TEDx presenter, an author, award-winning business management executive, and he loves his coffee. He worked with over 600 businesses, assisting them in obtaining clarity, implementing a solid strategic plan, and giving positive growth results. He focuses on the foundation of the business to get the best results. Now, today, Steve's going to be talking about why business owners have no real strategy when marketing their business. And businesses claim they have tried everything when it comes to marketing and they keep saying nothing works. So I'll put my hand up for that. The reason is it doesn't work is because of our messaging. And that is why our marketing is costing us money and not making us any money. And Steve's going to help us overcome those hurdles. Welcome, Steve, and thank you so much for joining me today.
Oh, thank you for having me again.
Yes, no, it's a pleasure. I love it. I love it when my guests come back and want to be interviewed again by me. It makes me feel all warm and snuggly.
Nice.
So, Steve, for those that don't know who you are, can I just have a little bit of a background on why you do what you do?
Absolutely. I mean, I've owned and operated 7 businesses and turned 3 others around. I found my passion years and years ago working with owner-operators of businesses and helping them achieve their goals and dreams, because the failure rate for small business owners around the whole world is not, it's high, and the success rate is very, very low. And my goal is to turn that around, because people are putting their livelihoods on the line here and they just don't know the business side of things. They're great technicians, but I want to help them on the business side.
Yeah. And, a lot of us, when starting out, or even of those of us that have been in business for any length of time, can always do with some help with our marketing, because honestly, it's not an easy road to travel.
I couldn't agree with you more. I mean, even today, after all these years in business and I teach it, I still work with people. I still have coaches. I am in groups of different types of coaches, social media coaches, every kind of coach, but we're sharing our knowledge. And this is how we're all growing together.
Yeah, absolutely. And sharing knowledge is, wealth of knowledge is always great for any business growth, personal growth as well. And,
Right.
the more we can learn about, what makes us tick as individuals and what makes our businesses tick, can only be helpful.
Absolutely. And then taking action on it and implementing what you learned.
Yes, that's
Oh my
the
God.
key. That is key. Yes, taking the action. And some of us, we learn lots, but don't bother to implement what we've learned, which is a sad state of affairs, really.
Yeah, I call them sponge owners. So they're always going after the next shiny object and just going to every class, every course, every webinar, just sucking up information, but they're not doing a single thing with it.
No, that's a shame too, because I remember when I first started out, I used to print off everything I could find on marketing, and I had a box, no word of a lie, was about this tall, just full of print offs, because that was before we could actually save anything into folders and so forth. But honestly, I didn't read one of them. I'd read the article, print it off, put it in the box, and think, yeah, I'll get back to that, and file it away and be there. But I never did. And so, when we moved houses and states, it just went in the recycle bin, because it was. And sometimes I regret not bringing it with me, because a lot of it would still be relevant. It doesn't matter how old the marketing tips are, they can still find relevance in today's world.
Oh, absolutely. And, granted, social media platforms are coming and going. They're always, and the ones that are staying, they're evolving all the time. But the basics are still there, and they've been there for thousands of years. They haven't gone anywhere. They're still here today.
Yeah. So how can we as business owners use the marketing knowledge that we have and to better our marketing? Because I sometimes think that I'm not that good at it, and I've it's the words that I use that aren't grabbing the audience's attention. So how can we use the skills that we already have to better the words that we use?
Absolutely. It first comes down to knowing who your true target market is. It's not everyone. And for any business owner that says everyone's my target market, you're probably dying a death. And you just haven't even woken up to your own reality yet, because you can't be everything to everyone. I mean, even Amazon is not everything to everyone, and they know it. So you should too. So you really need to be crystal clear on who your target market is. And that's what I see with most small business owners. They're thinking, well, if I niche down and talk about my true target market, I'm going to lose sales everywhere else. And it's counterintuitive. What happens when you niche down and focus on your true target market, you attract your target market. You're going to attract the ones, what I call the outliers, that are close by. And then after that, you don't care. Honestly, don't care, because you're going to have enough business. But when you're trying to be everything, no one gets your message. That's why you've tried everything and nothing works. Don't worry, I've been there too. That's, knowing that target market and what their top 3 problems are, not the ones you think they are, ones they are saying in their heads. And then how are you solving them? That's the key to your marketing message. And like I mentioned, I'm in a group of coaches. We share knowledge. It's an accountability group as well. And we look at ads every now and then, or our posts and things and we get feedback. And it's a little brutal, but it's honest. And we look at it we can't figure out who this program is for. And once we say that, the person who writes it goes, oh, it's right in front of me. But don't worry, we're all like that. It's not a flaw. It's just, wait, we're human beings.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's true. Yeah, we I guess you got to stick the mud so it sticks to the wall.
that's it. Yeah. I always look at it like using a different analogy. It's like a lot of people are using a shotgun in the wind. So when you shoot a shotgun in the wind, you don't know what you're going to hit, or where it's going to go. It might hit you. Whereas I like to tell my clients, it's like, let's use a sniper rifle. So we're not just spraying and praying. We're focused. We know where we're going to go, and we know where we're going after. And let's focus on that. And those are the clients that actually get it and grow fast. And sometimes it could be just one message that can do it. And I've done it many times with many of my clients. I said, let's just change your headline of your ad. I'm not even going to go with the rest because it's bad, but let's just change the headline and let's see what the results are. And I've had clients come back, okay, I changed the headline. It cost me, $25 to change it with a graphic artist. And I just quadrupled my results. Like,
yeah. And marketing doesn't have to be paid ads either. Marketing is just social media posting, it's networking, in-person networking, in-person on Zoom, or any of those other online platforms. And getting your message out there really is key. And having a 1-minute pitch really is very important.
Absolutely. You just hit it right on the head. It's like, we've all been in networking events, and we've all been given that precious 60 seconds to give our pitch. And some people just waste it with ums and ahs and, well, if they're a landscaper, well, if you have grass, I can cut it. So does the guy just said it 3 times ago. But if you have that compelling message, here's who I work with. Let's say I work with homeowners with home values of this. I beautify their lawns. I increase their home value. I make them the envy of the neighborhood. Well, that's better than you're still cutting grass. But that is more appealing and telling the people who you really are and who you serve and what makes you different than I cut grass.
Yeah, you've got to have that unique point of difference, don't you?
Yeah, we call it the unique sustainable or unique selling proposition.
That's it.
It's like, what makes you different? And everyone goes, well, it's me. It's like, well, that's cute, but no one really cares. I'll be honest. Because I have coaches underneath me. And when I say, well, I'm going to pass you over to my coaches, they're like, oh, okay. Because I didn't give any value to that, but I gave value to the result that we both get. I said, they're trained on the same things I have. They have access to all my tools. I've trained them on everything I've talked to you about. I'm going to just tell them where we left off. They can pick right up. And they're like happy as can be.
Absolutely. Yeah. Your USP is so important. And, you've got to have that value. You have to give value in your marketing. Or perceived value. What is valuable to the marketer, it may not be valuable to your audience, and vice versa. What is valuable to the audience is not valuable to the marketer. And so you need to try and find a happy medium somewhere.
That's very, very true. You got to look everything in the point of the eyes of your clients, your customers, not what you think everything is, because they have a problem that they want solved. And they need a solution that they don't know that they have yet. They don't know what it is yet. So you got to find out what's their top problems. In one of my businesses, I was thinking, I'm going to go after this market, but I really want to really know what their problems are. So I did research, I Googled it, that's nice. But I reached out to 50 people in that industry that I knew. And I said, can I just have you for 10 minutes to ask 10 questions? They're going to be quick and easy. So I did these polls. I got through them. I analyzed the results, and everything I thought was their top problem was not their top problem. So now I know their top 3 problems, and I changed my marketing to fit those top 3 problems with my solutions, which I already had, All of a sudden, that program took off because I did a little bit of research.
Yeah, I've done market research on my business page and on my, personal profile. And sometimes it's not an easy task because people don't answer the question. So you find it difficult to get those top three problems. And so you go and look at other people's pages and try and find out the issue from there. But the research is really not as easy as it sounds.
No, I mean, I picked up the phone, I emailed, I texted, it was a lot of follow-up. You're right, it's not easy, but I was relentless. And I said, I'm going to get 50 surveys to give myself a good, foundation of data. So I probably reached out to 150 people in that industry overall to get the 50.
Yeah,
and
it is a lot of legwork, basically.
Yeah, 2 weeks of my time doing that, but it paid off really fast. But yeah, but I came up with a plan, and I tell business owners this, like, if you're going to do what I just said, come up with a plan. Think of those 10 questions. You ask the same questions to each person. You got to know what is the result you're really looking for. So I want to know the top 3 problems. So the questions I had kind of alluded to their problems in different ways. And sometimes I just changed the wording of a question to see if they would change their answer. And they stuck true to their problem.
Yeah, having quizzes on your website too can be a valuable tool when wanting to find out what the issues are with your target audience, because the initial setup of the quiz is very time consuming. However, it gives valuable information.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I know people who set up all the quizzes because they do it from a scientific point of view, psychological, social. They do all that stuff, which is not my world. But the quizzes I see them do, and I've gone through them to test it, and I'm just like, these are simple, easy questions. And then all of a sudden the results come out. I'm like, you didn't ask anything like that. They go, because it's a science behind it. And then when I started looking at the data, I was like, I'm now blown away. And I'm fully in on quizzes and surveys that these people do, because it's not just thrown together. It's really thought out, very meticulous, and it's customized to each business. So they might put one off for like coaches, but they're going to ask me 100 questions to customize that quiz just to see what kind of results, what am I looking for? Am I trying to find their problems? Am I trying to get them into a program? Am I qualifying them for coaching? What is the end that you want to get them into?
It's one of my business coaches, it's the qualifying of the potential client that is really, really important. And you can only do that with, a conversation with them, and, whether it's on the phone or, which is probably the most beneficial, but you can still do it through email, but on the phone probably is better. But, a lot of people are shy to do that. What strategies could people do to overcome that?
Yeah, I actually, because I get these inquiries, hey, I want to talk to you about, possibly bringing you on as a coach. And I said, okay, here's my calendar, or my calendar's filled. Or they say, hey, listen, I just don't feel good about calling because it turns into a sales conversation. I go, that's fine. I got a landing page. You can fill out all the information here. If you don't fill out the information, no, the appointment will be canceled. Simple as that. And it's amazing. About 75% of the people fill out the information and stay with their appointment. It's also a weed out survey. So I also know who's serious about having the conversation, who's not. Because during our conversation, I'm going to bring as much value as I can and not try to sell them into something.
Oh, yes. That's another thing. Yeah, that's another thing with marketing. If you're having a conversation with somebody, you've got to date first before you marry them. Please don't try and sell them something on the first 5 sentences, because it's just not going to work.
And that's a great analogy, because I love it. It's like you go to a networking event. Okay, what is that? you're basically scanning the room for the first date. Then you give your pitch and people come talk to you. Now you have to set up first dates. So now the second date could be that coffee, tea meeting, and it progresses there. And I've joked about it with one of my clients. It took us 8 meetings before he finally felt comfortable enough. And I just said, hey, would you like me to coach you? And he's like, yeah, you have a contract. I had it in my bag 7 meetings ago. So, but I knew it wasn't the right time to pop the question, if you will.
Absolutely, yes. And you have to be very mindful of, not putting the cart before the horse, because, people don't like to be sold to anymore. They used to, it wasn't a big issue. You'd, get the door-to-door salesman and they'd knock on the door and they'd have their vacuum cleaner there. And, either you bought or you didn't, but they espoused all the benefits of having this particular vacuum cleaner. So, there was usually a sale on the first day or first meeting, but it doesn't work like that anymore. People don't like to be sold to. They like to be, eased into it, and they're a bit more savvy now than they used to be, some years ago.
Absolutely. You're seeing it now more and more, and even on webinars and master classes, all these things. It's 20 minutes of how cool they are, 5 minutes of the actual content, and then the rest of the time they're closing you into a program. I hate those, and I do master classes, and I tell people, it's like, listen, I'm going to pitch myself for 3 minutes. It's the truth. I'm not going to show you about cars and all that junk. Here's who I am. Here's what I've done. Let's get to the content. And I just give them content for the rest of the time.
Yeah, I'm the same. I don't like those webinars where, and sometimes they're even paid webinars or paid masterclasses, and all you hear about is how good the presenter is. And I don't really give 2 hoots how bloody good they are. I just want to get the information I paid for. And most times you don't end up getting any of that. So to me, it's just a total waste of my time and money.
Absolutely. And that's why the show rate for webinars has gone down so much. I mean, I signed up for a webinar. I knew the person. I said, listen, I can't make it. Are you going to do replays? And they go, yeah. So I watched the replay on a weekend, and the first 30 minutes was about them. And I told them, I'm like, okay, I'm 29 minutes into this. When are you going to deliver one nugget? They're like, wait. And it came from like the 31st minute to the 38th minute, and then the rest was closed. And I'm like, I'm glad this works for you. But yeah. I can't recommend you to anyone.
No, and to me, honestly, it's boring, and I think it does marketing a disservice. And you're right about the webinars and masterclasses. People don't want to be sold to. They go, they pay, whether it's free or paid. They want the information that they've signed up for. They don't want to learn about you, and they don't want to learn about your shiny widget that you're offering at the end of the time. It's, to me, it's pointless and hopeless.
I even have one webinar. It shows like a mansion and a picture, and it says like, this is not my mansion. This is not my private jet. And I did all that to mock them. And someone goes, well, that was funny and everything. They're like, why'd you do it? And I go, 2 reasons. I don't care about any of that junk, honestly, me personally. Second of all, that everyone you see who does that, it's fake. Like 9 out of 10 of them are fake. So let's get to the content. Let me give you the stuff why you're here.
Absolutely. Be real, people. It's not rocket science, really. Just if you want to get a sale, you'd probably get a sale much easier if you were real and authentic and truthful about who you are and what you can deliver. That's what people want to know, what you can give them, what value can you bring to them.
Yeah, I mean, what I see when people do that is like, your program costs a lot. You're just mass marketing to hope find some suckers, and they're going to pay for all this for you. And you're not going to deliver any value. It's going to be an automated program that they're going to pay a couple of $1,000s for. And, they'll get on a live call, but it's not you, it's one of your people.
Yeah. I there was a podcast marketing, how to market your podcast. And really I think I got some screenshots out of it, but at the end, their program was an automated program, and to me was no value, and it cost like half as much as a house.
Yeah. I do automated programs, and I tell them in my first lesson, this is like, could be 10 lessons. I go, I'm only going to tell you about me, this first one, and here it is. And it's like 90 seconds, and that's it. Out of the whole course, that's the only time they hear about me.
Now, marketing, it can be, quite icky for some people because they don't like the sales process. They don't like, putting themselves out there. It is a matter of getting out of your comfort zone. How can people overcome those challenges?
Yeah, I've seen it all the time, especially like in certain professions, like therapists, anything health, woo-woo kind of sciences, because they think that's slimy and money is a bad thing. So that is a mindset issue, first of all. They need to work on that. So money is infinite. I mean, they just print more every day in every country in the whole wide world. So don't think that if you get some, you're taking away from someone else. You're not. You worked hard on your education and your knowledge. You should be compensated fairly for it. So that you got to get over that mindset. The other mindset is thinking, well, if I ask for the sale, I might get it. Yeah. But if you don't ask for it, you will never get it. And that's what I see with a lot of salespeople, a lot of business owners. The prospect is like ready to buy, but they just don't give them the close. And so I started teaching some of my clients, like, do, assumptive closing, do test closing, ask questions, do a review. I'll do a review with a client. Like, these are the things you mentioned. Am I right? Am I on the right track? You said you also want to work on these things. Okay, good, great. What is your timeline? Now I'm just asking questions. And then by the time I'm like, okay, great. Would you like my help with all this?
Mm-hmm. Yep. And it's not that hard, really. You're having a conversation, just like we're having a conversation. And that's all it is a conversation. And it's not that hard. I mean, it's not that hard. People make it hard. They overthink, I think.
That's it. And it's the stress level. When you're stressed, they feel stressed. We all do. Come on. Think of it. Every time we're talking to someone and we get nervous or they're nervous, we get nervous. It's just natural. But if you're just having a conversation, but you know the end goal, and you're getting them to that goal, whatever your process is, you have to at some point ask for the sale.
Yes,
I do a workshop for 2 hours. It used to be live. Well, it's going back to being in person, thank God. And at the end, it's like it's no selling the whole time. And I show them, I'm like, I bet you're asking yourself in your head 3 questions. So I lay out those 3 questions. Everyone goes, yes, you are. That's the questions in my head. I go, great. Would you like my help in getting this all started?
absolutely.
And they're like, where do I sign up? It's like, that's the close. That's it, folks. I didn't cutthroat, no hardcore sales. I don't like any of that stuff. That makes me slimy.
Absolutely, yeah. I don't like that. Now, Steve, you've got a special offer for our listeners and viewers on proven marketing strategies. 8 simple strategies to grow your business without spending more on marketing or advertising. Can you tell me a little bit about what that is about and where people can get their hands on it?
Yes, it's a great little ebook, easy read, I promise. It's 8 simple strategies that you can actually put in your business today. So give you an example. One of them is joint ventureship. So a lot of small business owners hear about it, but they're like, how do I do it? So we go through in the book, pretty much A to Z, simple ways to implement it into your business right now. I don't want you spending more money on marketing or advertising. So whatever you're spending, hey, love you, keep it going, whatever you're doing. This could be a complement. It could replace. These are simple things you do not need to spend money on. And when I just did this with a group of business owners last week, And I said, I'm going to show it to you. I'll give you 2 of them right now. You just write them down. You go put them in your business today. And when I showed it to them, they're like, it can't be this easy. And I go, yes, it is. I mean, it's that easy. And I showed them and how to do it. And they're like, you did the whole thing in like less than 10 minutes. I'm like, yeah. Stop making it so hard sometimes.
Yeah, it is. People do overthink stuff. I'll put the link to the ebook in the show notes when the video and audio go out. Steve, where can people find you if they want to know more about you, what you offer, or indeed just work with you?
Absolutely. I'm on LinkedIn under Steve Feld, and then my website is bizcoachsteve.com. And I'm also on Facebook. Those are pretty much the platforms I'm on, is LinkedIn and Facebook out of everything.
I just want to let everyone know that Steve is coming up on the 14th to the 16th of March at the 2003 Talking with the Experts Online Global Business Summit. And I'm so looking forward to listening to his presentation amongst the other 23 other presenters that will be presenting over the 3 days. And I really do thank Steve for giving up his time over those days for talking with my clients and potential clients, and just anyone who wants to be informed on marketing. And tickets are available on Eventbrite. I will put a link to that in the show notes, and you can buy a ticket for 1, 2, or the 3 days. Steve, it's been a pleasure once again. You are so full of information, and I love your presence, and I just love the way that you explain stuff. It's so easy. And
Okay.
I look forward to listening to your presentation later on this month.
I'm looking for it as well.
Bye-bye for now.
Thank you.
You've been listening to Talking with the Experts, hosted by Rose Davidson. Make sure you have a look at our back catalogue over at talkingwiththeexperts.com. And be sure to subscribe to our podcast so you don't miss out on any episode. We look forward to your company next time. Talking with the Experts.